with roll call. We got Joel is here, Kelly is here, and Rick Webb.
Yes, sir.
And then 4 vacant seats. Rick, if you could walk us through the flag speakers.
Thank you. Can we all stand, please? Place the flag here, place your hand on your heart. Yes, allegiance. Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll do something that Byron Glenn does at all our meetings up at the Water District. He would always say something about the privilege of being here in the country we're in. And I think folks, in light of all our dynamics, we should be super, super thankful that we're able to meet and nothing's dropping on top of our foreheads. So we thank you folks for all being here.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to start with a public commentary. If anyone here would like to address this is the time. Take 3 minutes. Perfect. We're going to go to our community leaders report. First, we're going to start with the California Highway Patrol.
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good? Happy, warm, happy to be here. Absolutely. Just a couple of things. I have a guest to introduce to you guys. It's one of our sergeants that just transferred into Mojave area, Sergeant Brian Grayson, and he'll tell you guys about himself and go over our stats for our area. One of the things I just wanted to touch on, and I think we've talked about it in the past, but definitely if you guys see something, say something. Just to touch on an arrest that officers just made earlier today, a couple hours ago. Somebody brandishing a gun on the freeway. You know, they were able to give us enough information that we found the vehicle, made a stop, and sure enough, located a gun, and we're able to remove that gun and make an arrest. So it just goes back to that, you know, when you do see something, say something, call 911, call us. We've made a lot of DUI arrests out of that too, when you're driving down the road and you see somebody weaving or they're driving very reckless, you get that information to us, and fortunately if we have a unit in the area, we can make that stop. So you know, just wanted to remind everybody of that.
So, a question for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes Michelle and I will be driving, and I found myself wondering, like, are they just driving like jerks, or are they drunk?
Yeah.
Like, what would you recommend someone would do? I mean, obviously, make your best ascertation and don't call on people who just.
I would say this because I find myself doing this when I'm driving. If I'm driving and I'm trying to not be next to that vehicle because they're driving so bad, just call it in.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that because that might be the second caller too. And so now we know, okay, this is multiple callers, and just having enough information that we could identify that vehicle, whether it's the plate, the type of vehicle. We don't even have to see them doing something wrong. Having that information and identifying that vehicle based on case law, we can make that traffic stop. And a lot of times it does lead to that arrest.
Well,
So we appreciate that. But with that, I'll turn it over to Sergeant Grayson, and he can tell you about his career and him being here in Mojave.
Good evening. My name is Sergeant Brian Grayson. I've been a proud member of the California Highway Patrol for this will be my 25th year. I've been a sergeant for 5 years. I just transferred to the Mojave area at the beginning of this month. I love the crowd. It's a lot easier crowd than my lieutenant oral panel was last Wednesday, so I appreciate it.
Excuse me, sir. We have a tradition. You got to buy the crowd food after you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
New guy, you know the new guy rule.
I wasn't going to tell him that.
I'm just gonna hit some of the stats from the beginning of the year up until the 19th of March. Our speeding violations, a huge jump, 43%. It went from last year at this time, 1,623 up to 2,335. That's remarkable right there. Our arrests are up 57.98%. They're 188 versus 119 from last year at the same time. Our DUI arrests are up 22%, 98 arrested versus 80 this time last year. And our total crashes are actually down, which is good, 170 versus 181 from the same time frame last year.
Wow. Okay, real quick, sir. You said we are at 98 now?
98
For
DUI arrests, and just from January 1
To-
to the 19th of this month.
We're gonna shatter that 80, that 80, oh my goodness.
Yes, we are.
Oh my goodness.
And last year was also an increase from the previous years.
Oh my goodness.
So,
So, Mr. Grayson, is it because there's more of you guys on the street or on the roads, or what's causing the jump? I mean, probably more efficient
sure, I
patrolling,
think
I assume.
staffing helps with that. There's more of us, but you know, it's unfortunate we're seeing a lot more just DUIs middle of the day. It doesn't have to be nighttime. I mentioned that before.
Yeah, and I mentioned to you how like consumption of alcohol is at an all-time low, but DUIs are climbing steadily.
Sure.
If there's no more questions.
Where did you come from?
Oh, no. Oh, I spent before I promoted to sergeant, I spent 10 years in Blythe. Before that, I worked in Buttonwillow with the LT here. So it's been a great career.
Okay, I'll make a deal with you. You
Uh-huh.
said you had your lieutenant interview last week. Don't blast nothing this week. When you make lieutenant, just double it. Okay? Good luck on that, sir.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
Hey, you know, ice cream. You know how it goes.
Tough crowd, huh, sir?
Yeah, no problem.
All right, next reaction I have, Webb, if you want to share anything on behalf of RCSD.
The district as a whole is kind of quiet. I was just in training up there in Sacramento at some training, and I'll just share this with everyone. They had a training block on cybersecurity, and that seems to be the hot topic. They talked about something I'd never heard of. We always talk about incident reports of everything, you know, after the fact as far as getting the company back together. They talked about having a cyber security incident, so when things go, you know, plan for it, so when things go awry, ransomware, whatever, after the incident, you can start putting things back together. So that was very interesting as far as what they can capture, how quickly they can capture. And the guy himself said that we're worried about AI. He says we better worry about the overall cybersecurity because it's no joke. But that was interesting. And just for anyone that sits on boards, I guess the Brown Act, especially, I think it was SB 707. The Brown Act has changed completely as far as what you can and can't do, what you're able to do a little bit more of it. So if anyone here is on other boards, I'd encourage you to look at that new Brown Act update. I think it's SB 707. Got some good information there. But other than that, the district's doing well. The plan out there, Ryan Becker, Greg Wood, and Kim Domingo, the general manager, they gave a presentation at CASA, which is the sewer group there about our plant. Our treatment plant is world class. I mean, we've been recognized by all the big power brokers in that field for it, but they gave a presentation at the thing there and it was really well received. So you folks have a very good district there, and we have probably some of the best water in the state. I would take anyone to task on that one. So that's what we have, sir. Thank you.
Question,
Yes, sir.
we got the notice in the mail about the rate increases?
Study.
Oh,
So
study.
what happens is that every 5 years, you have to do a study to see if the numbers are there or based on what's going on, if they're gonna go up or hold them. So we do the study first,
Okay.
and then after we do the study, we say rate pay, but everyone that has a property here, they get a letter sent out. We're gonna have a meeting at the district office. You can come say yea or nay to it. What I do know for a fact, and I can speak to this, and you can folks, when we have our meeting next week, by all means, show up there. You can only raise money to cover your bills. We can't raise money to have $1 million slush fund for your bills.
Well, you have to have a reserve fund. too.
Oh, no, the reserve, I mean, we just can't say, oh, we're doing a rate study
No,
to raise the rates, so we'll have $1 million.
Yeah, I understand.
So we raise money to run the business.
I understand.
And the study comes out first, a company's already been selected for that, and they come back and says, based on this here, this is what you need to raise the numbers to. Then we as a board, we look at it and say, yay or nay or whatever, but those are done every 5 years.
Okay, in the letter it says that you can only protest the legality of the SB, whatever it was.
Prop 218.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you mean by legality?
I haven't read the letter, but basically Prop 218 says every ratepayer has a right to know why the numbers are there and come to the meeting and ask about the numbers.
It says you can only protest based on the legality of that
Okay, that part I'll have to read it to.
So I'm trying to figure out.
Do me a
how-
I
favor.
recommend you go to that meeting.
Do that, or I'll give you my cell number. Call me up after we're done.
Well, no, I'll come to the meeting.
Yeah,
What is
but
it?
like I said, 'cause I don't want to give you bad information, but I know Prop 218 says all the people that pay the bill have a right to come and ask questions about it.
Right, I
at that
understand
meeting.
that, but I didn't understand the legality.
Yeah. Every time you get an attorney involved, the
There you
confusion
go.
starts.
There you go.
But yes,
Perfect, thank you guys. We'll do Lester Hayes. You have anything for us?
No, Red Cross is
Red
nothing.
Cross is
Just
good.
happy to be here.
I was just sharing with Lester, my sister-in-law posted online today that she was looking for smoke detectors. So because I've sat through so many amazing of these, presentations from Lester, I knew that we could recommend her to the American Red Cross up in Turlock. And so they're going to be helping her get smoke detectors. So
And I know the folks up in Turlock, so they'll take good care of it.
perfect, thank you. I appreciate you. All right, Matt Bauer.
Alright, federal level, not a whole lot of updates since the last time I was here. 11 out of the 12 appropriations bills have been signed into law. Super excited about that. In those 11 bills, we had $104 million come back to the district in community project funding. A large amount of that came to Kern County, specifically East Kern County. So I have specific numbers for projects and everything like that if anyone's curious about the specifics. So there's that. There is still, we're holding out on DHS funding. That's been shut down for over a month now. So negotiations are active in the Senate right now, and then depending on how that goes, it's gonna go back to the House. So that's still an active conversation. And then good news is this week, Congressman Fong had his Save Our Sequoias Act pass the House, which is gonna really help our sequoia groves up there in the National Forest. It's gonna help give some proactive forest management, and allow agencies at the state, federal, and county levels to work together to make it so, if a wildfire does happen in the future, to mitigate it, it's gonna be less damaging. More proactive approach to wildfires than reactive.
Which one is that one?
Save Our Sequoias Act. Yeah, it's,
What about can you give us an update on the $500 million awarded Central Valley for water?
yes, that was, I think, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I also have specific numbers on that, not written down, but yes, there are specific line items for projects in the Central Valley. So very, very excited about that.
Yeah.
Hoping to see that come implemented sooner rather than later. So,
Thank you.
yeah, any questions?
Matt, yeah, we got briefed last night. It's a state law, but it's something maybe Congressman Vaughn can keep his eye on. SB 1105. They're the state's trying to make it to where local law enforcement can't work with any federal agencies at all. No task force, anything like that. So it's not just ICE or Border Patrol at all.
Just blanket federal agency?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's something for him to keep his eye on, and if he has any tool.
Yeah.
His
That'd
own
be-
way.
that'd be bad.
What's the temperature? Is it not against it, or?
Well, our district is solidly against this
Yeah.
idea, but I mean, it's not looking
I know Corax, they're pulling out all the guns to stop it
Okay.
in the state.
Gotcha.
But, there's a supermajority of
Yeah, but we've had some good luck fighting Bensie's bills the last couple of years. Tom Mackey's pushed back on a couple where they tried to, redo how they what was it, assault they tried to redo?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That was the, protecting your home.
yeah, the inability to protect your home, the obligation to retreat, I think it is what they call it.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll make note of it. Thanks for that.
Thank you, sir. Does the Chamber of Commerce have anything?
Just our Easter event on the 29th.
Easter event at the Chamber of Commerce building on the Sunday the 29th?
Yes.
Perfect. Bring your kids, evidently someone's wearing an Easter bunny costume.
Yep.
thank you, Mr. Kelly.
That's what I heard too, I got voluntold. I'm good at that.
That's the 29th?
Yeah. What time?
That April, May.
Coming at you.
Mr. Kelly, April or May?
April.
April.
No, May 29th.
March.
March. Okay.
March 29th.
March, what time?
Easter's on.
That's correct.
February.
This is not a Hydrostor. No, it is Hydrostor. This is not the Pacific Steel. And then we're gonna finish up with Miss Karen. I always have you last because sometimes you'll hear things you can answer later. You know.
I appreciate that.
Say it best ways.
I think I appreciate it, I'm not sure. So I'm Karen Sanders, I'm the East Kern representative for the Kern County Board of Supervisors, District 2 Supervisor Chris Parlier. And when I presented at the Chamber of Commerce this morning, I didn't really have any updates because everything seems to be a bit status quo. Although I did encourage the folks that were there for the luncheon to go look at the flowers. Go out in the county and go look at the flowers.
Yes.
It's not exactly a super bloom, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know that's not government related and it's not really county related, but it's health and personal welfare related. So go do that.
Yes, definitely.
We had a monthly call with the Public Works Department, and I thought I should mention that, all of the, well, not all of the potholes, but many of the potholes here in Rosemont have been recommended to County Public Works and the Road Department to repair, and so I have quite a number of in the maintenance queue. So that means that they're scheduled to be repaired. I don't have a time frame for it. Many of these were reported at the first part of February, and it just takes the county a little while to get all of those completed. So, 2 pages of that. Yeah, the Rosemont Boulevard Road rehabilitation should begin this summer. It's gonna go from State Route 14 to the Union Pacific Railroad. So it will be this portion of Rosemont Boulevard that will be under construction. And it seems like we'll have lots of construction because Highway 58 is getting a truck lane. Construction on that, I believe, is supposed to begin this summer as well. And then Lieutenant Donner mentioned that there's a northbound route or northbound lane on the 5 that's also going to be under construction. So it'll be down to 1 lane. So won't that be fun? Yes.
What part of the 58 are they gonna put a truck lane? The
From
whole-
about the Arvin cutoff
Pardon?
back east toward Broome Road, going back towards Tehachapi. Yeah.
That's where it's going downhill into Irving.
No, that's,
I mean,
it's going
just-
uphill.
Oh, it's coming
Going
this
uphill,
way.
yeah, that's-
Okay, so if you're heading out of Tehachapi going towards Bakersfield, about Broome Road, which is one of the first
Right.
exits, all the way back down to the Arvin cutoff.
Is it gonna be both directions or just
I think it's just gonna be the uphill from
uphill
Bakersfield,
coming
Yeah,
up?
eastbound,
eastbound,
yeah, eastbound.
uphill, eastbound.
I think westbound will have a paving project as
Yeah,
well.
Are they?
it will, yes, absolutely. So there's gonna be some improvements to the westbound side, but the eastbound side will get a truck climbing lane. And, I don't know if it's gonna be a nighttime construction project. I do know that tow trucks will be there during construction. That's one of the things that's being required of, the contractor. Because if a truck breaks down or if a car breaks down, then it's got to be moved quickly because it will be 1 lane.
Good idea.
So if you have to go to Bakersfield, I would make alternative plans on way to get back to Rosemont. Just in case, just in case, that's just me.
138?
Yeah, 138.
138.
395.
Yeah,
Loop Road.
138.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
no,
138. Oh, yeah,
138,
138,
yeah.
For highway,
Um,
yeah. Especially now that's summer.
There's another, construction that is set to begin this summer, Avenue A from 40th Street West to Sierra Highway. And then 40th Street West Road reconstruction from Holiday Avenue to Rosemont Boulevard. So that's something that, even though it will be painful while it's happening, it will be a benefit to the community once it is completed.
You know, Karen, I mean, they did a beautiful job, 60th, 70th, 80th, 90th, all those have all been redone, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful job out there in the west.
Yep, but like I said, I know it will be painful while it's happening, so I just, on behalf of Kern County, I ask for your patience. Ask for your patience. And then another thing that I wanted to mention was, some traffic safety enhancements that have been given to Public Works and the Roads Department. One of which is at, Rosemont Boulevard at Mojave Tropico Road. And then the other one, which is not on my report, but the Public Works and Roads Department does have it, Eagle Way and Rosemont Boulevard.
Oh, they're gonna do, well,
No, they're
Oh.
gonna do a traffic
Traffic
study.
study, okay.
I'll study.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are they gonna do? I'm sorry.
It's the traffic
There's
study.
Going in Rosa Boulevard, they're gonna do a traffic study for traffic deterrent.
Or
Not
some
another
sort.
signal, right?
Well, it depends on what they come up with, but it's,
Hmm.
they call it a safety enhancement.
Takes us 20 minutes to get across town with a little signal.
Well,
Well, this is for a safety enhancement.
yeah, this is for the
Yeah.
crosswalk.
It's
You're
for the-
right, it does take an absolutely asinine time
Yeah,
to
this
get
is,
across.
this
that.
is for the students and parents who are
Walking, so.
walking or going in and out of the school, so, you know.
We need another road around town.
I'm hearing, so the
We've had that
Tropico,
talk.
so the Tropico Roseman, they approved the
Yeah.
flashing?
No,
No, they're just looking at it.
I hate to tell you this. Alright, and I'm just gonna read from the report that I have, okay? We received a request to investigate possible safety enhancement for the intersection of Rosemont Boulevard and Mojave Tropico Road. We conducted our investigation and reviewed the accident history for the intersection. The intersection does not warrant any additional safety measures currently. However, Supervisor Parlier is, not in agreement. So we'll have to see what Supervisor Parlier is able to do.
Perfect.
That's like he's one of our favorites.
So we need more death and carnage up there.
Well, yeah.
Okay, and real quick, let me ask you a question on those. Are they getting, when they look at that, they're looking at whose information? The CHP and the sheriff's information for those studies?
I'm not familiar with it, I'm not a traffic engineer,
No,
so
no, I'm just curious
No,
because-
I know, I gotcha, and I would be curious as well, but I just know that they follow particular policies that are set by the state, I believe, as far as traffic enhancements, safety enhancements, and it has to meet that criteria.
That criteria, okay,
That has
gotcha.
to meet that criteria. Then, two more things, a household, oh, sorry, that's already passed. Household hazardous waste, I was gonna tell you about that, but that was on the 7th of March, so.
We're having one on the 25th here in,
Okay,
in
and
Roseman.
that's being provided by Waste Management?
Yep.
Okay.
No, no, it's being provided by the county.
Okay.
They're gonna
On
be,
the reports, I didn't know about it.
yeah, they're gonna be, handing out more compost stuff that day here at Omaha.
Compost bins.
And then, so they're gonna have a hazardous, material, drop off that day.
Awesome.
So we've been asking for about a year, and the county's, they're finally, gonna come out and do one for us here in Roseman.
And that's here.
Huh?
That's here.
Yep,
It's here.
Alright, okay.
from I think 9 to 1 or 9 to 12.
March.
I'm gonna reach out and have them do a flyer, so we can
Email
post
it
it.
to me?
Yeah.
Does
How
anyone
do
have
you find out what they consider hazardous waste?
household hazardous waste or things like
I mean,
batteries,
I know
light
that's what I
bulbs?
consider, but sometimes they won't say things like fire extinguishers or something, is that a hazardous
That,
waste?
if we check the county website, I'm sure we could find it exactly, but just generally speaking, paint, batteries, light bulbs, household, chemicals, that sort of thing.
Like they do in Mojave twice,
Yeah.
I mean,
The one
every
at the
2
airport.
months, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, sir?
Yeah, do you have an update on the new county building we're supposed to get over by the fire department?
So actually, I do have an update on that.
Great.
Construction on that is supposed to begin this year, 2026.
The end of the year?
Well,
That's
Specific?
right.
I'm gonna stop answering your emails.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm just kidding. No, that is
Is it
something that
supposed to
is.
start this year then, the
Yes,
construction?
it is supposed to start this
Are
year.
we gonna have a grand turning of the dirt,
Well, I don't know that we would have a grand turning of the dirt, but,
like we did for the
Some kind of-
plaza?
there will be something probably at the end of construction with an open house, so that the public could go see it.
How long do you think the construction will last?
Your guess is as good as mine. How long does it take to build a sheriff's substation?
Well, it's
I
not-
would assume probably a year and a half.
Well, it's gonna be more than a sheriff's substation,
No,
right?
No, it's not, it's a sheriff's substation.
No, I heard it was gonna have code compliance and
No, sir,
health and human services.
no, sir.
That was
It's
a
just gonna
big
be a
hope.
That's a wish, that is a wish, and the supervisor wishes that should take place as well.
Well, that's what I
But
heard.
construction cost, is going to preclude that being included in the sheriff's substation.
Because we already have a sheriff's substation.
It's a temporary substation.
Yeah.
It's not adequate for what the, Kern County Sheriff's Department needs.
Yeah, but I'm looking for more services from the county.
Yep. So, 100%.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Who owns the substation now if it's not the county?
It's a privately owned building and the county is leasing it, which sometimes that happens within the county. For example, the Boron Library is not a county building, it is a privately owned building and the county leases it, just as an example. So not every county service building is actually owned by the county. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's get. You don't do that to me. We have Willow Rock Energy Storage. We're gonna be updating here from Mr. Craig.
What's the name of the company?
It's a Hydrostor.
I'm just-
We're gonna drill it. We're gonna drill it. We're gonna open it.
Absolutely. Good evening, my name is Kurt Hildebrand with Hydrostor. Pleasure to be here again. Really happy to provide a very positive update on our Willow Rock project. I was looking back at my schedule, and it was over 4 years ago that I first came here and introduced Willow Rock to Rosamond and the greater East Kern area. And I want to very much thank the community for your support and your longevity and your perseverance alongside us. The project is making great strides. I'll provide some details on that, but I do want to get up front our most sincere thank you. Joel coming up to Sacramento, being there in there slugging for us. The project was very well received by the California Energy Commission. We did receive our final license in December, and again, that was over 4 years in the making. So perseverance does pay off, but it is a challenging environment to permit power plants in California. The project itself, Willow Rock Energy Storage Center, is a 500 megawatt, 8-hour facility. It will be one of the largest energy storage projects being developed in North America. It has the capacity to power Bakersfield in its entirety at its peak load for 8 hours. So it is a significant project by any measure. It will cost in excess of $1.5 billion at the end of the day. And it'll utilize Hydrostor's advanced compressed air energy storage technology. I won't get into too many details tonight, and this is not an eye test for anybody. I'm happy to answer questions. But the project will be located just north of us, up off Dawn Road. One exit up, you make a right on Dawn Road. We'll be right at the corner of Sierra Highway and Dawn Road. That Dawn Road will be paved as part of our process. The facility overall, again, it's very simple. Our technology, it sounds mysterious. There's stuff underground. We utilize air, water, and gravity. Simply put, we compress air. Our first step in the process, we have very large air compressors that are powered by off-peak power. At night, when the wind's blowing and demand's down, we store that energy, and we store it in the form of compressed air. The second part of our technology, when we compress that air, we're consuming over 500 megawatts of electricity when we're at full compression load. That generates a lot of excess waste heat. We store that. Our working fluid is water. So those tanks that we'll see in about 4 years' time, they kind of look mysterious. They're just storing hot water. They're insulated. We'll reuse that heat when we go into the generation mode. We do construct a large cavern about 2,000 feet below ground. That'll be constructed in bedrock granite, and that will be utilized to store water and air alternately. So when we compress our air, we extract the heat, we store it, we send that air down into the reservoir or the cavern. That cavern contains water, and that air is actually slightly higher pressure than the water. It will slowly be displaced up to the surface where we have a surface reservoir. So we have 2,000 feet of hydrostatic pressure holding a constant pressure on the air in the cavern. So once we turn that around and we want to generate electricity, we'll turn the valves, the air will come back up, we'll send that to compressors, we'll utilize our waste heat to heat that air. When you take high pressure gas of any form and you expand it, it gets very cold, it'll freeze into solid chunks. You have to reheat that before it gets into high speed rotating equipment. So instead of burning natural gas and having emissions and all those issues, we simply utilize our waste heat. So we'll have no greenhouse gas emissions as part of our process. So what I've found to kind of explain the easiest way to understand an average day for our project, at midnight, we'll get a signal from our customers, start charging, power's plentiful, low cost, start charging the system. So we will take 500 megawatts off the grid the next 13 hours. Compress air, that water column will slowly come up to the surface. The air will displace the water in the cavern. So you just basically have a hydrostatic piston, if you will, holding that air pressure. So once we fully charge the system at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, price of power is higher, demand is up. We'll turn that system around and we'll start generating electricity until 8 hours of air is used up, and then 9 o'clock at night we'll shut down. So that's the, in that form we can capitalize on the low cost power when it's off peak and utilize it when it's most needed during peak hours. So again, this is Hydrostor's flagship project. This is the first of its kind at this size. This will be a national and international destination for energy storage geeks like myself. It will be an attraction, and it will put Kern County even more so on the energy map internationally. The world-leading renewable resources you host here in the county are a tremendous resource. Projects like ours are only going to make them more valuable because we'll be able to utilize them more efficiently and more frequently.
Will that be a 24-hour operation?
It will be staffed and ready to go 24/7, yes.
Does this save, how much money does this save over using the conventional methods?
Somewhere between none and a whole lot. The market is very dynamic. The most volatile commodity on the planet is electricity, because until about a decade ago, you just simply couldn't store it.
Well, will this give competition to Edison, just lower their rates?
The investor-owned utilities and other load-serving entities will actually be our customers, and they will tell us as the plant owner-operator when to operate. When we contract the capacity of the plant to load-serving entities, so we don't necessarily play in the market ourselves as plant owner-operator. The load-serving entities have a lot of obligations. They best understand the market, and they will give the dispatch signals: charge, discharge.
But if your cost is less to them, they should pass that on to us.
I don't disagree.
That's the other meeting. Yeah, that's a good question for the other guys.
The simple
Where do they come?
the simple economics of our project dictate that it will lead to lower costs.
Yeah.
Meaning,
Makes sense.
we're taking the highest cost hours and we're actually adding more capacity to bring those costs down, supply and demand. Those lowest cost hours where we're sending electricity out of state and paying Arizona to take our excess power, or feathering the wind turbines, or whatever it is, we'll be using that energy when it's needed and when it's more valuable.
Because California has the highest electricity rates in the nation.
I think Hawaii has us beat, but
A
just
little
by
bit.
a little.
But they're in the island.
Yeah.
We're mainland.
So Kurt, so when you, like, say your customers in Arizona, so you can send that electricity through the lines, and it's kind of like a freeway system, and then it knows where to go, and
The physics behind it are akin to a water system, where there are valve equivalents where you can help redistribute power, but basically, at the end of the day, it goes to where the load is. It will seek the lowest voltage, just like water seeks the lowest elevation. But commercially, that's how it's transacted. They're gonna take the power in Arizona because it's there, and we're gonna pay them to take it in Arizona
That
at 2
doesn't
in the
make
morning.
sense.
So we can keep our grid reliable, but it is costing us a lot to do so.
You see this as a technology that, obviously this is one site, but I assume you see this as a technology that is, has applications in many different locations in order to support the grid. So not just one, but, you know, even if it were 100 miles from here, still doing the same purpose, still supporting the grid, and it benefits that way.
We do have a sister, to that point, Lester, we do have a sister project advancing currently in Australia.
Right.
It's a
That's a
somewhat
ways
smaller
away.
project. It will utilize existing mine infrastructure, but nonetheless, it is a similar project. We're looking at expanding into Europe, right here in California again, and other states in the east, across Canada. We're all over the place.
If I recall right, from 4 years ago, it wasn't as simple as doing something 100 miles away. You had to have the rock formation to create the
Correct.
cavern. So it's
Correct.
not that you can just
Do
pick
it
up
anywhere.
and do this
Do it anywhere.
somewhere else.
Very good point. One of the limiting factors, if you will, we do need suitable geology at our sites. And we typically do that through a combination of early surface testing, and then if that pans out, we will drill boreholes. I do have a core sample in my briefcase. I don't leave home without it. But yeah, I can share it with you. It's a nice granite core sample from our reservoir, our future cavern, and it looks like a gray granite countertop. So what we're looking for is an airtight, watertight tank.
Yeah.
We had an earlier site over off Tehachapi Willow Springs
Yeah.
and Sweetser
Yeah.
Road.
Right, I remember that.
That geology was not suitable for a 500 megawatt, 8-hour
Oh.
facility. The capacity of our projects are really dictated by the capacity of our cavern. If we doubled our cavern size from what it is today to what it will be, if we doubled it, there's 16 hours, which is a very cost-effective way to add additional capacity. That's an attractive aspect of our technology.
Would you be
You
able
don't
to-
have to add, double the batteries or something. You just have to carve out more cavern space, and you have 500 megawatts for 16 hours. So we're looking at opportunities like that too. Not for this project, this will be 8 hour, and but there are opportunities for that.
Now, the 500 megawatt, that's energy that's already made, electricity that's already made that you're storing then.
Yeah, we are not a generator. It's kind of a foreign concept. I've been a power plant developer all my life, and now our project is actually a net load if you look at it on an annual basis, because we don't convert energy 100% efficiently. We actually use more electricity than we regenerate. That's just the nature of the business.
How is that efficient?
It's
the
timing part that makes it efficient.
Yeah, it's not a massive amount, but nonetheless, the price of power can go from $10 to $1,000 a megawatt hour, like that. You lose a line, you lose a substation. In those situations, having additional backup resources or resources in general add reliability to the system, and that means more cost-effective service as well.
So you're a backup system? Is that what it is?
That is one perspective. The transmission operator does view us as a generator when we are charged and a load when we're charging. So at the end of it, it's a different world. It's a different paradigm.
I'm not an engineer, so.
It is a resource that the transmission operator, the California Independent System Operator, utilizes as a generation resource when we're charged.
Well, it lowers the rates.
Is energy offered as a commodity currently?
I'm sorry?
Is energy offered as a commodity like you can trade on currently?
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive one. It's real time, 15-minute market,
Oh wow.
day ahead, week ahead. You can package a lot of stuff.
That's not something I mess around with yet. So the biggest question: when do you foresee construction begin?
Great question. Again, we were permitted in December unanimously by the California Energy Commission. They have not licensed a project like us in almost a decade. So again, this is something that's needed. We all see how long it takes to get done. We're looking at almost 5 years of construction. Our schedule going forward, we're working through we have 175 conditions of certification from the Energy Commission. Many of those are pre-construction. We're addressing those now. We also need to close financing. We're making great progress on that. And long story short, we expect to start moving dirt in June or July of this year. The initial part of the activity on the site. This is our full rendering of the facility. This is Don Road here. This is Sierra Highway and the UP tracks, Highway 14 up here. The first work we're going to be doing is down here on the south side of the, well, the first work we'll be doing is paving Don Road from Sierra Highway to Highway 14. The first grading we're going to be doing on site is on the south side of the project, and that's to set up our coring rig. This is going to be a very large drill rig. We're going to set up here to start our shafts that will be making hole, if you will, downhole to our cavern horizon. That will be the first part of the construction that will start in Q3. We'll erect that large derrick and begin our downhole work. The cavern construction is the long lead critical path item for our facility, so we're going to get to work right away on that. Early next year, we will start topside construction. This is our reservoir, our surface reservoir shown up here. It's shown covered because obviously we're going to minimize the evaporation through some form of cover. That reservoir does go up and down every time we charge and discharge. So we are working with various vendors to design a evaporation lid, if you will, that's compatible with the reservoir that goes up and down. So that's the overall layout and land. We're looking at Q3 2030 for our commercial operation date. We have recently announced that we've retained Hatch, same folks that are building Pacific Steel, as our lead EPC contractor for the project. Our downhole contractor will be Cementation, and they'll be constructing our cavern for us. And again, we're looking at in excess of $1.5 billion all in at the end of the day.
Kurt, the painful process of going through this process, do you think PUC learned anything that future projects might not take as long to get through the PUC?
We all learned a lot in the process, myself included. The Energy Commission, the county, we worked closely with Lorelei and the planning staff throughout the process. The lead jurisdictional agency for this project was the California Energy Commission. They had sole jurisdiction, usurping all local and state other agencies' role and involvement. That being said, we work closely with the county, we've earned their support, and we intend to keep it. The other agencies, from federal to other state agencies, have been pretty good to work with overall. In terms of lessons learned, there are plenty. I'll buy a beverage and talk you through all that. What did I miss, Natalie?
Can I talk about the economic benefits?
Yeah, we do have some very significant economic benefits. We have done detailed studies. We will recognize in excess of $500 million of direct and indirect benefits to Kern County. We have a peak workforce of 700 folks on site, an average workforce of
How many?
200. Peak workforce of 700, and an average workforce of about 250 over that 4.5 to 5 year construction cycle. We do intend to have job fairs and other opportunities for local hires here in the community. Not only do we want to do that, we're required to do that as part of our conditions. So we're real excited about the labor force here in Kern County with oil and gas and refining. You know, our technology, again, we're deploying existing equipment, turbo expanders, compressors, heat exchangers, fin fan coolers. These are all things that folks in refineries and oil patch are real familiar with. We're not inventing a whole bunch of new gizmos. This is pretty standard off-the-shelf equipment, so folks will be familiar with it. We are also paying significant property taxes to Kern County, on the order of $18 million a year. We do not have an exemption like solar tax credits, so that will be a very attractive aspect for the county.
How much will that come back to Rosemont?
Nothing.
I can only tell you it's going to Kern. We have an unincorporated.
Hey, Joel, we gotta go there and pound their tables.
There you go.
Kurt, I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
18 billion.
So is it possible with the success of Little Rock that there would be another facility like this built in the area?
Don't tell the California Energy.
No, I'm not. I'm not telling you, but this is just Karen talking. This is a question that I had with, you know, I'm assuming that this is gonna be a very successful venture for the company, but in that respect, would there be additional sites like this? Is the geography right?
Well, the single biggest constraint and challenge to any project, being regardless of technology, is the internet. The infrastructure, the transmission
Gotcha.
infrastructure in California across the country is ancient.
Sure.
A lot of it was built when I was a kid. I mean, it's old, like me. The ability to interconnect 500 megawatts into this archaic old system is extremely limited. The one example I give, we submitted 2 years ago an application in Cluster 15 applying for capacity on the transmission highway in California, transmission grid. The all-time peak load in California is about 70 gigawatts. Okay, so most electricity we've ever used is 70 gigawatts. In Cluster 15, they invited all applicants to come together and apply for new capacity on the grid. Meaning there was 14 clusters before that. We're in Cluster 15, 750 gigawatts of applications were received. Over 10 times our peak load in Cluster 15. So it's tough.
And it's
We
just
would
because
love to.
it's the infrastructure that is the holdup.
We're interconnecting out of Southern California Edison's rolling substation out 170th out on the west side.
Right.
And that's a pretty long transmission line for us to get out there. We'd love to get more capacity.
So that leads me to another question. That being said, is it up to Southern California Edison to build more transmission lines?
The utilities don't like to spend a dime unless they're guaranteed to make a dime plus return.
Right.
So the Public Utilities Commission is usually the lead actor in that. They will study where transmission's needed with the help of the Energy Commission and other industry experts. They'll come up with the best transmission solutions, bang for the buck, and then they'll say PG&E, Edison, wherever's territory it is, or go private if it's cheaper. There are private lines that do get built, but it's a very extensive, long process. The only thing harder to build power plants these days is building transmission lines. So the short answer to your question is yes. The real answer is it takes well over a decade to even hope to get new transmission studied, permitted, financed, built.
And then I'm sorry, I have one more question. So, living here in East Kern, I've heard a lot of people say, and I don't know, can't speak to the veracity of it, but folks are always saying, oh, we're not gonna see any of that electricity because it's going to Los Angeles or it's going
When the Bakersfield.
Holly, I'm gonna stop answering your email. So that being
You're a worse
said,
troublemaker than I am.
I try.
yeah, he's doing a great job tonight. That being said, would it not be correct to think that when like in your case, you're generating power and sending it to the transmission lines, is that just not credited to you and the transmission lines take the power to wherever the electricity is being used?
The
Am I thinking about that right?
Yeah, the analogy I use here, Karen, is we're generating 230 kilovolts that's our line voltage. That will go 230 kilovolts into the Whirlwind substation at Edison. That's kind of a super highway or an autobahn, if you will. In terms of an autobahn without exits locally. So if you ever get on a high-speed freeway, it's great when you're going straight and a long way, but if you can't get off if there's no off ramps to supply local load, that's currently the situation that we face here, unfortunately.
No, that's fine, I just wanted clarification on it, because I mean, you can understand when people say, oh, we're not getting any of this electricity, we're not getting any of this power. There's other benefits that are coming to these communities from having facilities like this built, but the actual power itself truly is not coming back to the local communities. It's like you said, it's a super highway of power that goes to wherever it goes.
There will be regional voltage support, enhanced reliability, some economic benefits for reduced costs on the grid overall. But in terms of our project supplying East Kern, it's pretty limited.
Well, and I'm not asking just particularly for Willow Rock, but also other energy generating things, the solar, the other wind turbines, that kind of thing. It's just always something that I've heard, oh, we're not getting anything. I'm like, well, yeah, actually we are, because, it's going into the grid and, it'll come back to you. Thank you for the little education.
One more question. You mentioned the transmission line has to go all the way to 170th?
Yes.
Are you gonna have to dig up the whole road to get it there, or is there already lines there?
There are lines there that we will parallel, either adjacent or on the other side of Rosemont Boulevard. There are short sections where we're gonna have to bury our line, go underground. LADWP has a large crossing.
On the north side or south side of
A
West
little bit of both. If you go out, why did the transmission line cross the road? To get to the other side.
So you are gonna have to.
Can we use that?
So you are gonna have to dig some of the road up to get it there?
Only in very limited spots.
Okay.
Most of the crossings will be above ground. We will have some underground sections.
I thought everything was underground these days. You gonna go above ground?
The majority of the line will be above ground.
Once fully operational, I think you said 2030 or so, what's the numbers for workforce that you're expecting?
We're gonna have about 40 full-time equivalent positions just on site, and then the knock-on effects from those positions as well. So we're not a Pacific Steel mill with hundreds of employees, but nonetheless we'll have about 40 in total.
Good question.
Perfect. I think that's it. All right. Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have any comments from the directors? Mr. Webb?
No, only thing I'd like to share, if you look at Hydrostor, Pacific Steel, Edwards Air Force Base. The school district just got the bond we approved with the housing growth. This is gonna be a hot little commodity, this little section down here. Perhaps of that 700 people, they'll buy houses here. That helps the schools there. Pacific Steel, we did a tour of that place, and that place is awesome. The district has that world-class plant out there. Edwards is always doing great stuff, so our little hub up here, folks, we should be pretty proud, pretty happy. When I moved up here, I never,
Nothing.
one signal light.
Yeah, same here.
But think about it, folks, we bought houses for $80,000.
No,
There's,
mine was 50,000.
thank you. Take him off your list, Karen. We're looking at $500,000, $600,000 homes now being built. I mean, we're maturing. Some people say, we're a bedroom community. I don't know what it is, but look at all this. I made notes of all these places that's growing. That's opportunity. Thank you guys. Think Pacific Steel, the base and whatnot. So that's something to be proud of.
Well, Mr. Webb,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
with the Historical Society
Yes.
with Gretchen. And while you're busy looking at this kind of stuff, wouldn't it be nice to have a Roseman Museum?
And you know what you could probably do? I mean, on a very for real.
Yeah,
Tina came out here that's building the plaza. Maybe it'd be a good idea for you folks to talk to Tina and them early, and maybe you guys could have something there, because you're right. I mean, it would be nice, but I'll share her information. She's been pretty good about wanting to ask the community about things, but we have a lot of good stuff going on. And maybe you could contact her, and you guys could talk to them.
And other benefits too.
We're not talking to you, young man. Thank you,
We're
sir.
almost done. Don, let us finish up and get out of here.
So
We need more.
Keep Kern Beautiful is gonna be teaming up with Aaron Howard Trash Hauling, and we're gonna be having a cleanup on, May 16th. So I'll be putting out a flyer for that. We're gonna pick out a location and then the other thing, I've been stopping, trying not to get hit, using my Kern app with a picture. I give the county credit. I gotta take a picture of a couple mattresses that are down 20th Street that somebody dropped off, but when you take a picture of it and send it to the county within usually 48 hours, they're coming cleaning up the sites, and they're really good about, it's a good app, the My Kern app.
Does Waste Management pick them up too, or?
No, it's just the county. They have
Okay, one time somebody dumped a refrigerator on our corner of our street. And we
The
called
county will come
Waste-
and pick it up.
No, we called Waste Management,
Oh.
and they came.
Yeah, no, Waste Management's been good too.
Yeah.
But the county with that app, you see something with a pothole, one of the things I did find out that when you take a picture, usually within 48 hours, they have to have the potholes fixed by, I was talking to, I forget who, Public Works, but they said they have 48 hours to get the potholes fixed, so.
Well, Karen says she has a 6-page list.
So when you take the picture, it has the geo fencing in it, so it sends right to the location. You don't have to put an address or anything like that. It's pretty high tech.
That's pretty cool. I've used it a lot. So perfect. I think that's everything, guys. I sure appreciate everyone being here tonight. We will continue to work with Supervisor Parlay on trying to get somebody else appointed to the board so we can have a quorum here pretty quick.
Do you have elections coming up?
Well, there will be elections coming up. I don't know what that looks like for us this year.
No, I mean for your board.
Well, we normally we're an elected board, but the last several election cycles, whoever's filed has just been put onto the board. Not enough people have filed to run.
So there wasn't
So they
any
are
vote, no
potentially
voting
looking at maybe making us an appointed board. We're working with the county now to figure that out.
with Mr. Parlier.
You got it. So when we know, you'll know. But we are working with him to get somebody else put onto the board so we can have full quorum here shortly.
I nominate,
Gretchen's got lots of free time.